Hello, and it's Saturday here on Drinking Irish, but I was there, do I go for a weekend beer tonight, or do I go with something to do with this weekend? And you see, this weekend is Wrestlemania, the showcase of the immortals. And I was thinking, I need a beer, an Irish beer, that is appropriate for WrestleMania, despite the fact that Mania is taking place across 2 nights in empty arenas in multiple locations, and it's all pre-recorded, so it's anything but a regular WrestleMania. And I've been to Mania once. Went over with a few buddies of mine a few years ago to in New Orleans to watch it, and I was out queuing for beer, and we knew who the Undertaker was against, but I was thinking, okay, we're grand, it's not Taker's time yet. And John Cena's music plays, and it's like, right, screw this beer queuing. That means Taker is coming. So rush back into my seat. It hits the music, and I was thinking, that's a special moment. No matter what, no matter where Mania is, seeing Taker come out for it, that's special. So with that in mind, tonight's beer is Darkside IPA, and if you're a wrestling fan right now, you're hearing the Undertaker's music play. Unfortunately, I have got nowhere near the rights for that. This is from Brú Brewery. Great lads. It's a 5.2%er. Brew, who are based, you can tell I forget where half these are, can't you? Brew are based in Meath, or Meath as we like to call it. Yeah, it's American style, but of course it's going to pour a bit darker than your typical IPA. It's the dark side. For the dead man. We're drinking for the dead man tonight. So, last night I had a great time in the crack session, and was on another Zoom session. Although I wasn't a sesh earlier, just playing some quiz games with buddies. It's been kind of a cool way to catch up with friends and stuff. Wow, this one I've destroyed the head on. So we're gonna let this settle for a second before I'll do some more talking. But yeah, I had a real lie-in this morning. So I had a busy week at work, putting together an extraordinary edition of Connected for the Business Post, and of course all the other stuff I've done for the paper. So please buy the Business Post on Sunday. It'll, help me keep buying Irish beer to keep supporting y'all throughout this. So please be sure to do that. But yeah, it's keeping me busy, it's keeping me going, and yeah, I'm enjoying it. So regarding beers as well, though, by the way, I am going out and finding as many as I can, but definitely very open to suggestions, especially ones that there's so many Irish beers. I can tell you right now, I have not heard of all of them, and that includes some breweries I haven't heard of. So listen, you give me a shout out of a brewery or a beer you want to see in the comments. I'll go try and find it. I'm sure I can even find a Craft Central or a drink store or someone like that, or a Beer Cloud, of course, which has just gone live. You mention it, I'll go try and find it. And I'll try and drink it for you on this. So just gonna pour a little bit more in now that the head settled a bit. Let's have a look though at the color of this one. So, because it's not a black IPA, which is what I think a few of you were expecting from the bottle. It's not. It's a much more dark amber style. And the bottle, in fairness, from the coloration and all that, not so much it's a brown bottle, but it's more the coloration of the labeling. You're expecting to see a black IPA. It's not. It's just a darker style of regular. Very caramelly at the nose. Very caramel nose, actually. Yeah. It's quite amber, it's like a dark amber, really, what is poured. Okay, yeah. There is a bit of darkness to that bitterness, if that makes sense. It's a more morose bitterness, I suppose. But yeah, no, let's just top it up a little bit here, because let's destroy the head again, obviously. Hey! But there's more just trying to actually get the bad boy poured out fully. But yeah, no, it's an interesting one. Not one I've had before, actually. By the way, it is the first time I'm having a bottle of this. I've had Brew plenty of times. Great brewery, lovely lads as well. I met them at festivals a few of the times over the years. Yeah, I was about to sip there, but come on, feck. That's ridiculous. So, but yeah, no, it's an interesting time for a lot of the brewers. So I've been talking to quite a few of them, and obviously, for so many of the brewers, and you wouldn't realise this, for the most part, how dependent they are on draft pub sales. For most breweries, you're talking 70 to 80% of their business is draft pub sales, because for a lot of y'all, when you're trying out a beer from Meath or from Donegal or from whatever, and if you're a Dublin based, or if you're a Cork person in that part of the world, etc., you're used to having it in a can or a bottle. But they're so reliant on their local trade, which is great. There's this local business giving you your own local taste. But you forget just how much, how small a part essentially that part of the business is, the off trade. So it's so crucial to be building that up right now, helping support these breweries. Yeah, a whole lot of caramel in that, and it actually makes for a nice finish, like as well with the bitterness. Like it's a little sort of towards the back of the throat, really the front end. I'm getting the flavour this time. That's good. That's working for me. It's working well. And one thing obviously I want to say to all of you who've been getting on, I've been getting texts from friends showing me bottles they bought and all this and tweets, etc. It's great. I really appreciate it. I know the brewers do as well that I've been talking to see that you all are out there buying more Irish beer at the moment. And just keep doing it. Obviously be sensible about it. And I don't mean in terms of, how much you drink, because I got blotto last night. I had a long week and needed a few beers. But I mean, just in terms of when you go to the shops and how you go up, it was quite amusing earlier up the road for myself. So we have a greengrocers and an off license brewery. I wish we had a brewery. An off license next door to each other, but perfectly formed, really orderly, despite being long queues to get into each. And, so it was quite clear this is the Offi queue, this is the greengrocer queue, everybody's observing. And just as I'm joining the queue, sort of like a minute later, Miriam O'Callaghan, who's we've seen a lot of lately because of the whole news thing, comes up behind, briefly confused and realising, oh, there's no queue for the butchers, I can still go into that. So Miriam was able to go into the butcher's grand and didn't have to worry about the queues, thankfully for her. But yeah, this is an absolute belter. The reason I'm humming on is what I eat it with. I was initially thinking pork, but no, it's not a pork thing. Lasagna, actually. This would go great with lasagna. Well, I can't really eat lasagna, but sort of, minced and Italian type stuff. Yeah, this would really bounce off any sort of mince-based dish. Yeah, that's what I'd go with in this. I can't eat lasagna because of my cheese thing, unfortunately. It's very annoying. Yes, it's very sad. Anyway, to wrap up, so listen, you all keep drinking Irish, support the boys in brew, and the boys in brew, well, close enough, and support all our breweries, do your bit, and listen, I'll see you all tomorrow night. Sláinte.